Take a look at this graph. This is not how much people trust AI, but how much they've changed their stance since a year ago. Notice the middle. Half the country is completely numb to the hype. Where they stood a year ago is where they stand now. But look at the extremes. For the people who are shifting, 16% trust AI much less, while only 5% trust it much more. Trust is bleeding out. The AI is the future stance that keeps being promised doesn't feel relevant anymore. AI is here now, and it's already in everything and has been for years at this point.
Yeah, I'll never forget when AI first came out. It was novel at first, until its novelty wore off over time. But the thing about it though, is a lot of products that we know today, or at least the products that come from these tech corporations, have AI integrated into them. And you gotta ask yourself, do these products that have AI integrated into them, does the AI actually improve the user experience of these products? And if the answer is no, then to be honest with you, it's just unnecessary. Not everything needs AI. Only a few things, to be honest with you guys.
So the excuse that all these problems will eventually get better soon is bullshit. This same graph can change, but at the rate we're going, the fatigue this is all causing down here is building up and clashing more and more with that top-down pressure. Gallup did a poll asking Americans if AI does more good or more harm. 57% answered that it does equal amounts of harm and good. This is the middle, but it's not a fence-sitting opinion.
Honestly, I would say it's a double-edged sword. If I literally go on the internet right now and I'm doing research, I don't gotta click on hundreds of links. I can literally just ask Gemini exactly what I'm looking for, and it'll look for the relevant links, the relevant information to help me out with my research. I wish I had that during my college and high school days. Real talk. If I'm trying to analyze data, I use ChatGPT. But at the same time, when it comes to being more efficient, me becoming more efficient becomes a detriment to roles that could actually help me with the situation that I was just talking about right now. So that's why I say it's a double-edged sword.
And this is what I've been grasping at this whole time, that it can exist in both camps at the same time with valid reasons for both. I think it pairs with the YouGov poll that we just looked at before too, that people aren't buying the BS and a literal majority feels that AI can be double-edged. So hearing ad executives tell us that they think we all love AI-generated ads, of course this would cause fatigue. They're not speaking to the majority. They're not even talking to us at all. So the question, who cracks first, the industry or the consumer? I think we actually already have our answer.
I have no idea what your answer is, but I know my answer. The answer is the consumer. The consumer already dealt with the fallout. Matter of fact, we dealing with the fallout since 2022, or at least since ChatGPT came out. That's the first time I knew about AI. Yeah, I would say the consumer. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, the economy's messed up right now. It's hard to find jobs and stuff. Yeah, definitely the consumer. Why would the producer be affected? Like, why, bruh? They making all this money, they chilling, you know what I'm saying, meeting shareholder demands and stuff. Yeah, consumer. That's my final answer.
The industry does. The big one that kicked this off for me was Anthropic versus the Pentagon. They had a $200 million contract and the government wanted Anthropic to allow them to use all of their AI for autonomous weapons with no human pulling the trigger. There was 2 specific clauses that they wanted Anthropic to give ground on. Anthropic chose not to budge, so they lost the contract and got blacklisted and are currently being threatened by the US government. And at the same time, while that happened, OpenAI swooped in and took their place. And so what was the windfall? Well, there was a mass exodus from ChatGPT and leading tons of people to switch to Claude.
I'll never forget hearing this on the news, guys. But I gotta let y'all in on a little secret. Did you guys know that OpenAI is basically in debt? They spend more than they make. Only 5% of their users are active paying members. Majority of the people are using their app for free, ChatGPT. So what does that mean? When you're in debt, it places you in compromising situations. And when you're in compromising situations, in my opinion, these are like some lowball deals, bruh. Y'all basically ruined y'all reputation by aligning with the government, man. Y'all should have done what Anthropic did. Nah, we good, government. We gonna go on our rules, bruh.
And I was one of them, which I actually now think it's a much better app, but anyway, that's besides the point. But you have to remember, these are businesses. They go where they believe the money is. With OpenAI's current desperate position and where Anthropic stands, it's different for both. You could argue who shakes out with a better deal between a government contract and public sentiment, but I think it's pretty clear on an optics standpoint, things massively shifted. That's just one example. Think about what I just said. Companies go where the money is, and they are far from the only one testing this.
At the end of the day, it's all about profit. If I took money from you guys, thank you, I appreciate it. I would owe you guys, and you guys would have expectations. Yo, what did you do with our money? You said you're gonna do this. When are you gonna pay us back? Blah, blah, blah. That's exactly how these shareholders are. They're investing millions, billions of dollars into these corporations. So these corporations have to adhere to these shareholders. They can't go anywhere they wanna go. So obviously they're gonna go the route that is the most profitable to please these shareholders. And sometimes I would like to believe it's not always in the best interest of the corporation.
The EU's AI Act has been so strict that major tech companies have pulled AI products out of Europe entirely. Microsoft actually pulled back on Copilot since their massive AI investments are not converting to paid consumers in the way they had promised. OpenAI abandoned their money-bleeding Sora app, which also killed their billion-dollar Disney deal in the process. The Supreme Court just effectively killed copyright for purely AI-generated work. Forrester ran a study that showed 55% of employers regret laying off workers because of AI.
The only way to really affect a company to make them move a specific direction or, change their policies or whatever is to affect their bottom line. You guys recall when the EU enforced Apple to change all their products to use USB-C? Y'all remember that, right? Next year, the next product, whatever products came out, they started incorporating USB-C. Straight up. Apple losing access to that part of the world can affect their bottom line, so they changed it quick. There's no way employers are like, oh, we regret laying off people. Man, stop that PR crap, bruh. Let's keep it real. Y'all love this AI stuff. Y'all trying to replace us, straight up.
And from my industry perspective, I've started to see a wave of marketing specifically calling out no AI use in their work or work explicitly done by humans. To be clear, I'm not saying that the end result is everyone bailing on AI. I'm saying that this modern day California gold rush actually has a timer, and it's becoming more and more apparent that it's approaching zero.
I know he just clarified and said that the end result is not everyone bailing on AI, but we have to be honest with each other, guys. Who needs AI more? Us or the corporations? The consumers or the producers? Because first and foremost, the producers, all they care about is their bottom line. If you have 5 employees and 1 employee using AI, and that 1 employee using AI is able to do the work of these 5 employees, who do you think they're choosing? The dude with AI. And they're gonna look at AI as the cause, and obviously they're gonna keep enforcing it. They're gonna keep pushing it out there because they're gonna be like, yo, wow, this is allowing us to save money. Come on, guys, it's all about the moolah. It's all about the moolah and increasing that moolah.
The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. None of this happens without what's building on the ground. There is a valid, genuine debate happening that does have a function. That's where the culture figures out how we feel about it through iteration and iteration. It takes time. But where change happens is in the battle of attrition between the consumer and the industry when things don't feel aligned. I really do believe in voting with your wallet, and that I believe that calling out this frustration does actually have a ripple effect, even if it's small, just starting this conversation in this way.
I get what he's alluding to, voting with our wallets, you know what I mean? Making our voices heard. But the thing about it, guys, is first and foremost is not everybody's gonna be in sync. People have different ideologies. They come from different backgrounds. They speak different languages. You know what I'm saying? People have different perspectives. And to get everybody in sync, to be like, yo, we're not going to support this corporation. We're not going to buy their product to heavily impact them. The reality is if you have literally just 1% of those consumers buying into their products, the corporation will do just fine.
I'll speak for myself. I want to be heard. I want companies to listen again. And I want products at the highest level to be developed for the sake of the consumer, not racing to beat competitors.
Google, do you think y'all can remove Gemini? No, why would we remove Gemini? We're in competition with other companies. If we literally remove Gemini, they're going to get one up on us. What? No, and that's going to displease our shareholders. We want to be ahead of the race. We want to make sure we make the most impact. We want to make sure we set the standard. Why would we remove Gemini? Now just take what I just said to every other corporation and their product. Why would they want to lessen the impact of their product? Why would they want to slow down the advancement of their product? I wish I was heard.
Even if that means that making it for the sake of the consumer is just the more profitable play. Great, that's fine, but it needs to be the case. Now, I get it. This might sound kind of idealistic right now, and maybe we never reach that fully 100% perfect world. But just remember that companies follow the money. It's not going to happen immediately. It will take some time. We are going through growing pains on a societal level. But if you really believe that nothing ever happens, nothing ever will.
I hate to be pessimistic, but I don't think anything is going to change. AI is going to continue becoming more and more and more advanced. Did you guys even know that the other day I was on X and I literally saw a video of somebody being interviewed by AI? Corporations, these tech corporations or whatever corporations, are starting to allow AI to conduct interviews for potential candidates. That's insane, bruh. Can you imagine your livelihood being dependent on trying to win over the AI about whether you get the job or not? That's crazy, bruh. But that's about it, guys. Peace and love. I'll see y'all next time.